Mercury Retrograde in Sagittarius, November 25th through December 15th, 2024. The final Mercury Retrograde of the year. Hello, my name is Eliane Nicole. I'm your astrologer and tarot reader, and in this video, I am going to talk about Mercury Retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius. But first, I want to say that if you're watching this on Instagram, I'm only going to post the first 5 minutes here. The entire video will be available on my YouTube channel, Eliane Nicole. My YouTube channel is my name, Eliane Nicole. Please find me there. I'll put a link in the profile bio of Instagram to get there. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Please hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Please like, please comment, please share. Helps me in the algorithm, helps me grow my business and my channel and my community. It puts me in a position to continue to give these free astrological offerings. If you're watching on Instagram, please make sure that you're following astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole. Please like, please comment, please share. It's free for you and very helpful to me. And now without further ado, I'm going to get into the interpretation of Mercury Retrograde in Sagittarius, November 25th to December 15th, 2024. Although the pre-shadow of Mercury Retrograde began November 7th, meaning that November 7th, 2024, Mercury entered the degree that it's going to return to in this retrograde cycle. So that basically means that things, communications, stuff that we were involved in November 7th through November 25th will likely be revisited or reviewed or come back around during Mercury retrograde from the 25th of November to the 15th of December. And then we might resolve the issue once Mercury goes direct, December 15th, until it's out of shadow, January 2nd. So it's like a storyline where we go back and forth over some bit of, communication, something we're thinking about or talking about or writing about, or, sometimes with Mercury, it has to do with accounting or travel plans or packages that are being delivered, or scheduling or contracts, or all that mercurial kind of stuff. Mercury retrograde is one of the most famous transit in mainstream culture because of how just distinct it is in terms of all of those mercurial type of things. But all of those kind of annoying, irritating kind of Mercury retrograde mishaps, those are just the residue. Mercury retrograde means so much more than that. Not all Mercury retrogrades are created equal. It really depends on the sign that it's in, and where all the other planets in the sky are positioned in relationship to that Mercury. Who's the ruling planet? Where's that planet? What's that planet's condition? In this case, Mercury's in Sagittarius, so the ruling planet is Jupiter. Jupiter's in Gemini, retrograde. Jupiter's in his detriment. Jupiter is the planet of grace and good fortune and blessings and expansion. But in his detriment, he is not able to perform at his highest normal capacity. And just like Mercury is in his detriment in Sagittarius, also unable to perform at his highest normal capacity. As I record this video, Mercury is coming to a standstill, which concerns me that my communication may not be as clear as I hope it would be. But I'm going to keep going and do my best anyway. As Mercury stations, he's in an opposition with Jupiter. This opposition with Jupiter colors the whole entire Mercury retrograde season in tone. They're both in each other's signs, which normally we would call mutual reception when planets are in each other's signs, they usually are working together. But because in this case they're both in their detriment, we may call this mutual deception. And that could be a theme that is coming up and presenting itself. You know, if you have planets in any of the mutable signs between 6 degrees to 22 degrees of any of the mutable signs, meaning Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius, or Virgo, this transit will be very personal to you. If you are a Virgo with planets in those signs, it's going to be creating a grand mutable square with your chart. So it might be the most difficult for you. It might feel like all of your carefully laid, perfected plans are falling apart if you are a Virgo with planets from 6 to 22 degrees. Contact me for a reading, Virgos. I read on Zoom, so I can read for people anywhere in the country and anywhere in the world, and this would be a great time for a reading. But all of the mutable signs, you know, Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius will still be experiencing the T-square nature of the transit. You know, Virgo rounds it out or squares it out. But so the T-square energy is there. It's there in the collective, and it's going to be personal to people with lots of mutable placements. But the T-square with Saturn is authority figures. Saturn and Pisces can be, you know, religious or spiritual authority figures, religious leaders, and Saturn and Pisces can also be like medical authority figures, like doctors, shamans, gurus, you know. And it's in the T-square, so there can be conflicts or challenges around the truth versus lies, dogma, ideology, philosophical belief systems, you know, information that's being dispersed. And sometimes Saturn and Pisces is professors or judges, you know. In our personal lives, it can be authority figures like fathers or, you know, landlords, institutions that we deal with of any kind, you know, systems or structures in our lives. And, you know, both Saturn and Jupiter can be judges. Jupiter can be lawyers. Mercury can be teachers or students. So we can find in the headlines, you know, big stories in the academic world or in the medical world or even in the religious world about, again, these themes of truth versus lies and the information that's being dispersed, or philosophical or ideological belief systems that are shifting, that are changing, that are in conflict with each other, that are creating oppositional, arguments, standoffs, challenges, conflicts, you know. And what I will say about the mutable signs is that they are usually very adaptable and flexible. So, you know, they have that going in this kind of challenging T-square. But yeah, so those of us who have planets within those degrees of the mutable signs will be seeing these stories play out in our personal lives. If you don't, it might be something that you're seeing your loved ones go through or in the headlines, but this energy is in the air. And there's a lot of, like, everything is changing. It's very, you know, there's not a lot of stability here. Things are shifting. And you know, Saturn sometimes represents reality. And those things that we think are staid and structured, but like, it's almost like reality is up for grabs. Even reality itself is shifting right now. as the world is changing so rapidly. And so that is causing us to have an open mind and expand our mind and expand our former belief systems and ideas about life. Shifting philosophies on life are happening as a result of this. New information is coming in that's causing us to have to rethink our position. And there are tests of faith. Tests of faith are a big theme of this Mercury retrograde season. Jupiter in Gemini retrograde is releasing limiting beliefs. Mercury in Sagittarius retrograde is tests of faith. Mercury wants the facts and the data, and Jupiter is about the bigger vision and just trusting God and trusting that everything will work out. So there's tension there around all of this, but I do believe that this period favors those who have faith in their heart. And this is the first Mercury retrograde that's happening while Pluto is at 0 degrees Aquarius and the new world is beginning. And Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius is ruled by that Saturn in Pisces in the mutable yin water temple of Jupiter, who's also an immutable air sign. So there's so much about things changing on the plane of thoughts and ideas and words, and shifting realities, and we don't know where it's all going to land. And so a lot of faith is required in uncertain times. And, reality, I don't want to get too esoteric or out there with this talk, but I do want to say that reality is not as staid and, immovable or whatever as we're taught that it is, or that we think that it is. Reality is a negotiation between all of us. And right now, this mutable T-square is very much about renegotiating reality. And you can see that in what's happening, certainly in how the system is shifting and changing in America right now, and all around the world, really. I talked about refining the vision. I think that this Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius is also reviewing. All the rewords are good during Mercury retrograde: revisiting, reviewing, reflecting, revising, rewriting, recalibrating, reassessing, reconfiguring. That's a good use of our Mercury retrograde time. There's a time and a place for everything, and Mercury retrograde is the right time for all those rewords. And there's also a trine to Chiron that's a part of this storyline, that Mercury is hitting 3 times on the way in during the retrograde and back on the way out. And this is a healing energy. This is an energy of forgiveness, apologies being made, amends being made. These are very helpful conversations with doctors or therapists or mentors. This could be inspiring words from philosophers, from teachers, from doctors, therapists, mentors. But there is also the energy with the opposition to Jupiter of incorrect information being delivered, lies being told. But those who are lying during this Mercury retrograde will get caught when it goes direct. So I would think twice about the tall tales that you're spinning or embellishing the truth, because it will be found out. Critical thinking is so important during this time, because there is going to be a lot of misrepresentation of facts and a lot of details being left out that are important. And on the collective scale, I think we're going to be seeing a lot in the press about how the law can be interpreted in different ways. And how that is not even like a stable thing. Laws are very malleable, and so there's a lot about that, the malleability of reality and of the malleability of the truth or the law. All of these things are big themes. And then also just like refining the vision for the future is a big theme. Tests of faith are a big theme. These are the big themes of this Mercury retrograde season. And I just want to say that the things that go wrong, the miscommunications, the changes in plans, whatever we're up against in this Mercury retrograde, there is definitely a signature of it's all a blessing in disguise. Anything that goes wrong seemingly, that's irritating or annoying, or we wish it hadn't happened that way, it is a blessing in disguise, because Jupiter, planet of grace and good fortune, is the final dispositor. He's the boss of Saturn, he's the boss of Mercury. And so things will straighten out. And yeah, what else did I want to say? The new moon in Sagittarius is happening November 30th, and Mercury will be conjunct that new moon. And so that new moon is really going to echo a lot of the visionary vibes that are happening. It's such a great time to set what we want our vision to be in this new world, while Pluto is at 0 degrees Aquarius, the point of all possibilities. On December 3rd, there's a sextile to Black Moon Lilith, creating an opportunity to talk about some very sensitive topics, or to talk about some issues that have been repressed or suppressed that are normally not things we necessarily talk about, but there is an opportunity to talk about it in a really healthy way, and to communicate about these things in a way that can be very like healing or uplifting, heart-opening conversations. On the 4th, the opposition to Jupiter, so this is opposing belief systems that can cause arguments or standoffs. I don't know. I mean, I think it would serve us all to just have an open mind and be willing to listen to different perspectives that are normal than our own. On December 5th is the Kazemi. This is an aha moment. This is a moment of clarity. On December 6th, the square to Saturn, conflicts or challenges with authority figures, religious leaders, doctors, professors, institutions, and then Mercury is sextile Venus on December 12th, which is beautiful words. This is great for writing, poetry, or writing anything. It's great for inspiring speeches or inspiring conversations, just exchanges of lovely words. Venus will be in Aquarius by this point. So I don't know. If you want to know where Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius is traveling through your chart, contact me for a reading. I read on Zoom, so I can read for people anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. I make really cute gift certificates, so it's Sagittarius season, so all the Sagittariuses are having their birthdays, so this is a great time to get your favorite Sagittarius the gift of a reading. Capricorn season is next, so if you want to get your favorite Capricorn a gift of the reading, or just for the holiday seasons, it's a great gift to get somebody a New Year reading, because the whole landscape is changing in such exciting ways in 2025, and I would love to read for you or your friends and family, so definitely contact me. I'll put a link in the description of how to book a reading with me. And I would just say keep the faith. That's the most important thing during this Mercury retrograde. Reality is shifting, and we don't know There's a lot of instability and uncertainty, but yeah, a little faith will go a long way in these times, and creating the vision, you know, shooting for the stars in the vision. So I feel like I hope that I was clear in my communication, even though Mercury is stationing. Oh, and that's what I wanted to say, and I may have said it already, but it's worth repeating, I suppose, that the days that Mercury is stationing are the most mercurial in terms of mix-ups and things getting lost or technological blitzes or whatever. So that's around November 25th, give or take a couple of days, and December 15th, give or take a couple of days. Those are the days where Mercury is mercurying the most. So, you know, just give yourself plenty of time, you know, to get places, and expect delays, expect cancellations, expect postponements, be adaptable, be flexible, have a good sense of humor about life, and that will win the day during this Mercury retrograde season. So thank you so much for joining me, and stay tuned, more videos to come.